Welcome to Nancy and Nicole, our latest podcast episode. Today, we are talking about the in between, managing that part where you might be like off track, you're not in your groove, things aren't flowing. You're doing all the things and you got nothing to show for it just yet.
Yeah.
And maybe other people do and you don't. So, what do you do?
Ugh.
How do you manage that? Because it kind of feels yucky.
It usually takes me a hot minute to know that I'm not in my groove. Like,
Same.
it surprises me because I so know it when I'm in my groove. Like, that part's
Right.
easy to recognize. But it can take me a little bit to find out that there's that friction, a little bit of
Mm-hmm.
rub. And you know where it comes out really when I know when I'm in between and I'm not in my groove?
Yes.
I get
Both.
kind of snippy with other people. I get cranky about things that, like, it's not even a new behavior that that other person has done. It's like how they've always, like, it's a
Right.
trait of theirs or whatever that maybe has always bugged me a little bit, but it's like a bigger thing. So,
Totally. And
that's
it's
how
interesting. Oh, go ahead.
I know when I'm out of
Same.
my groove.
Yeah. And it's interesting, there's kind of two versions of this. The one version out of your groove might be you're not doing the things. But I think really what we're talking about in this episode specifically is maybe you're doing the things, or it feels like you're doing the things. You're like, I'm showing up, I'm walking my talk, I'm doing my checklist, and I don't have anything to show for it.
Yeah.
And I'm in one of those phases right now. I'm a great manifester. And I do the work, and usually I do the work and stuff shows up and off I go. But I'm in a little space right now where I'm doing the work and I have things coming. I
Yeah.
don't have anything right here today to be like, look, proof that it's working, which is kind of how I live my life. And so it's really interesting to notice kind of the funky feeling, but
Yeah.
then that to me, that is the critical part of how do you manage your energy? How do you manage showing up? But how do you manage energy in those moments to
Yeah.
keep going and not kind of go off the rails?
I have a burning question for you,
Okay.
which is when you are feeling like I'm doing all the do and it's not really manifesting like a bunch of business,
Mm-hmm.
but I know you have this great practice that you coach people on, which is about looking for the proof that things are working.
Mm-hmm.
I have a whole list of things on my phone, thanks to you.
Yes.
Is it because you're not seeing specific outcomes that prove that stuff is working and that you're in alignment? Like if you're really wanting more listings or more
Sure.
buyers and those aren't showing up,
Mm-hmm.
are you also not noticing how traffic worked in your favor? Or today I saw eagles in my cold plunge.
Yes. And 100%. And I'm glad you brought that up. And it's interesting in my mastermind group, we were actually talking about this on a call the other day of, well, I'll say, especially for someone like me, I don't do a ton of real estate transactions in a year. I do enough. Then the income's what I want it to be. But, there's people like, I'm not out there selling 100 houses a year. So even on a good year, there's a lot of days when I might not have a directly related to business proof that it's working moment. But to me, proof that it's working is really about being present in life. And like this morning was a perfect example. We walked the dogs and it was beautiful. The full moon was like 2 days ago. So it's so really big. And there's a spot on our walk where we can see the lake and the moon was shining on the lake. It was magical. To me, we just took a couple moments and stood there and just stared at the moon, reflecting on the water. And that is actually still a proof that it's working moment because it means I'm present
Mm,
with what's happening. And
yeah.
everything comes from being present
Yes.
in the moment. So,
I think for me, and this is probably a relatively new skill in the last year or so, maybe in the
mhm,
last week, if I'm honest, is when you're feeling out of your groove around work stuff
mhm,
and you're doing the do and the phone's not ringing, it is really easy to feel like the only answer that I'm on the path is making that phone ring. And that the only proof is if
mm,
the phone rings. I guess
Got
is
it.
what I'm trying to
And
say.
you get a new client and
And you get a new
boom, off.
client and they're buying a
Mhm.
gazillion-dollar house and they're motivated and they're gonna
Right.
in fact, they probably already have a house they wanna buy and it's gonna close day after tomorrow and you're gonna be able to retire and I mean,
All
all
the
the things,
things.
all the things. It's sort of the opposite of like, when you're a hammer, everything's a nail. Only looking for this particular thing as proof, you miss out on a lot of other
Right.
things that are showing
Yes.
you that things are coming together, the stars are aligning. It just might take a minute and how do you know that there isn't some right timing about it taking a minute to come together for you?
Right.
But I think for a lot of us, especially if you are a person who consumes social media,
That's the hardest thing sometimes because everybody else is on there posting their wins, which I think is great, by the way. I'm all for that. But if I'm not having what it feels like equal wins, then it can get a little
yeah.
funky.
Well, and comparison is just not a
It
helpful
gets you
thing.
nowhere good. And
No.
yet we all do it.
Yeah. And let me just say, in case others of you are listening to this and you are feeling some of that funkiness of, oh my God, everybody else is killing it and they're having a great start of the year and selling and blah, 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 blah. Okay, first of all, you don't know that the closing that they are announcing actually happened this week.
Mhm.
People post a lot of stuff to make it
Yes.
look like they're super busy and active doing real estate. And in fact, their phone's not ringing either, but they are making it look like they're doing a ton of real estate because they want the whole world to be seeing them as successful. And I'm not saying that I judge people for recirculating, because let's face it,
That's good marketing. I mean,
it
that's
is
good
good
business.
marketing.
They
Absolutely.
should absolutely do that.
But for those of us who are consuming those people's feeds, in fact, I went through a period of time, I forget what year it was. I think it was when the interest rates went up and everything sort of came to a screeching halt. Well,
Mhm.
not a halt, slowed, felt like a halt. I muted almost every realtor friend I had. I
Yeah.
was like, nope,
It's not
there is
helpful.
nothing about this that is helping me stay
Mhm.
in my lane, feel like I'm good at what I do, and that I'm not the only one who might be struggling in that moment.
Right. So I have a question for you related to that because I
Yes.
know for me when I'm not at my best, the tendency is to hibernate, which is usually
Mm,
the wrong answer. So what do you do in those moments? Do you hibernate? Do you interact? Like how do you because then for me, I know I need to get my butt out and like interact with the world, but then I also need to
yeah.
be very intentional about who I'm interacting with. So where do you fall in that continuum?
You mean the energy vampires? You don't wanna hang out with them?
Right. It's finding that balance of I don't want to go hang out with the Eeyores of the world, let's say, that like "Meh, it's all falling apart no matter what you do. And I have certain people that I still can hang out with if they're doing, let's say, well, and I'm not, and I'm genuinely happy for them. None of this implies that I wish anybody
Right.
ill will or
No.
that I'm jealous. I sometimes I'm jealous,
Sure.
but like
Sometimes I'm really
this is
jealous.
great. I want everybody to have all the success in the world. Theirs does not diminish mine in any like I don't go down that road at all.
Yeah.
But sometimes, so anyway, it's interesting on I think you gotta be super selective of who you hang out with.
Yeah.
So, what do you do in those moments?
I do all the things. I hide, I
Mhm.
hibernate, I eat too much, I don't move my body, then I do move my body, but then I move too much because I'm trying to compensate for the fact that I've been eating my way through this slump, and then I hurt myself, and I mean, it's a vicious cycle of Nancy trying to
The spiral.
compensate. Yeah, it's a spiral. I also know that one of the things that I enjoy doing in life is when somebody pops in my mind. One of my favorite things is I usually start my day is I hop onto Facebook and look under memories
Oh, yeah.
because it is mostly full of beautiful pictures that I've taken or people that I love and adore or big wins in my life or things that were meaningful to me. And so I will go through that. Like just today, I actually did a screenshot of a client holding up a sold strip 10 years ago. And what's funny is I sold them that house and then A few years later, I helped them sell that house because they moved to Denver, and then they moved back from Denver, and I helped them buy another house. So, like, in that 10 years, so much is and they've had a kid and, I mean, all sorts of things. So, to me, connecting with others and saying, "Hey, I'm thinking of you," I think isolation is a energy killer. I know when somebody reaches out to me, my love language is, "Hey, I was thinking of you."
Mhm.
Like, "Oh my god, I am just what do you need? How can I help you?
Yeah,
Want me to shovel your snow? Oh, we don't have snow. If you had snow, I would come shovel your snow. Do you want me to take the garbage out? What day is garbage day?" I mean, like, I am butter. Just because it is about connection. So
right.
I think I don't tend to do as much of the isolation. I notice I'm way out of
Uh-huh.
sync. I'm out of alignment is often how I'm thinking about it, of sort of that authentic self. Because when I'm more in my groove and feeling good, even if the phone's not ringing, part of me just feeling like I don't suck is connecting with other people
Yeah,
because I think that is so missing in the world today in general. So I am more apt to send you a text or pick up the phone because I'm old and I like talking to people on the phone and just say, "Hey, I'm thinking of you and wondering what's up. We haven't talked in a million years." And it's not necessarily, "Oh, and let's get together for coffee or dinner or go do like."
yeah,
Sometimes it's just, "I'm thinking of you."
totally.
And you do enough of those, and people go, "Oh, thank you so much." It's like then you kind of feel like, "Oh,
Yeah, get some momentum going again.
yeah, absolutely." How about for you?
Yeah, for me, it's reaching out to people, and it's reaching out to clients of just, "Hey, I'm thinking of you," just trying to get some interaction going there. I also have my core people, you're one of them, that I know
Thank
I
you.
can call and just be like, "Hey, I'm off my game." And you always
Yeah.
have something great to I love it because you'll hear me. You're not gonna
Mhm.
go down the rabbit hole with me. You're not gonna let me just like, "Oh, whoa, Eeyore it."
Just come
Right,
back.
just reel me back in. You give me something great to so that makes a big difference. Getting out of the house and moving my body helps tremendously. Fresh air for sure. Like even just a walk, it doesn't have to be a power workout, but even just a walk makes a big difference. But knowing that I've got people that I can call and be honest with. We just did an episode about honest versus nice, but be honest with and know that they've got me, right? I don't have to perform. I don't have to spin it. Sometimes you just need to be real and raw about it.
Yeah.
And then to come back to trust, like, because even in when it's not working, granted, this is where I'm at now. It took me a while to get here, but even now when it's not working, still am in that trust place of like, I know it's happening.
Yeah.
It's not really happening as fast as I want it to or the way I'd like it to right now, but I do to my core trust that it's happening.
Yeah.
I just need to keep showing up. And then I also try to be easy with myself. Like on a day when maybe I don't have any appointments, let's say, the thought is, okay, well, now I need to like, I don't know, come up with 8 hours worth of work. Maybe I just really need to come up with an hour of
Yeah.
I'm going to call up a couple people. I'm going to do a couple things, but then I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to get myself out because I know that just sitting here staring at my computer or phone hitting refresh is it's the whole watch pot. What is it? The watch pot never
Doesn't
boils or
boil.
something like that, right? If I just sit there and wait for it, nothing happens. If I go interact with life, something will happen.
Yeah. It is, it's funny for those of you who listen to other episodes or in order, you know that we just talked a couple pods ago about force versus flow. And
Mhm.
I think this sort of falls on the heels of that. If you didn't listen to that one, you should go back because it was really good. Just if I do say so
Okay.
myself. But I think part of it for me is, damn it, how often do I do that? I have such a great idea. I'm giving the lead up, which is way too long, and then it's gone. Welcome to my postmenopausal brain.
It's a thing. We all have it. Force versus flow when you're not in your groove. I'm trying to tee it
Yeah, I
up
don't
here
gotta,
so it kind of pops back in.
it's just gone.
No? I bet it was epic too.
That's probably the mic drop moment.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll just ramble and you pop in there if it comes back. So the other thing is the stories we tell ourselves when we're in those moments
Mm,
and being exceptionally mindful of those, knowing that some are just gonna come up and it happens. I always talk about it happens to me every year, kind of December, January, like maybe I'm a one-hit wonder 30 years in. Maybe I maybe I'm not cut out for this anymore. Maybe technology's passed me by. It's
yeah.
something. The stories like I can keep that train going for as long as I want. So to notice those when they pop up and then let them go, because those stories, like, it's one thing to get off track. It happens to all of us. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter how much business you do, how long you've been in the business, how successful you are, how good you are at energy, work, and mindset, and all of those things. We all get off track. And one of the ways I notice is my stories start to shift. And that's a key moment for me to go, I got to do something to move this thing, kick this thing back over, because the stories I'm telling myself in this moment are not serving me.
Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
It's such an inside job.
So much of it is. I always want it to be like somebody else's fault, because then they have to do in pretty much all areas of my life. But it's all an inside job,
Yeah.
business, all of it.
So I did actually think about what I was
Oh, good.
it came to me.
I'm
So
ready.
2 things. One is I have often, over the years of doing public speaking, talked a lot about sort of the difference between being a human doing versus a human
Yeah.
being. And I am heavy on talking about the being side because
Right.
part of it is because everybody else under the sun is talking about the doing. But to me, that quality of being and alignment and inside job, all that stuff, so much more interesting to me.
For sure.
In case you haven't noticed that, it's a theme of what I bring to these
Love it.
conversations, I think. But what is interesting is I also, because that has been the lane that I have been most comfortable in, I've really shied away from the power of doing. And
Mm,
I have had many a coach over my adult life, decades of adult life, where people have said, just do something.
yes. Anything, right? Because we overthink it.
And yes, I get immobilized by but if I'm going to do something, it has to be the right thing and it's got to be the right timing. And the said just like complete immobilization because I'm so focused on the quality of the thing that I totally get in my own way. And so it is a new thing for me to really embrace and own that action, any action, shitty action, stupid, backwards, maybe you'll regret it action still gets you going. The quote that I have
Yep.
on a little sticky here is you can't steer a parked car.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a mic drop. Yeah.
Yeah.
It is about action.
And that has the through line for me about how that shows up is my lovely little daily routine of going cold plunging. And so what's interesting for me is that this past year, since I started in January of 2025 cold plunging, I was on it that I did it every day and I rarely missed a day. I mean, it was never gonna be a question of, am I getting up to go cold plunge? It was, I
Yeah.
just did
Just what
it.
you did.
Even if I had to drive to West Seattle in the summer
Mm.
to try and find cold enough water, only times I missed that was when I traveled. And then this January, I think I probably cold plunged less days than the number of days I missed in January. And I started in on myself with these stories in my head. Some of it was I traveled several
Yeah.
times this month. Uh, and then even when I got back, I was
Mhm.
like, "Oh, it's gonna be really cold."
Right?
And that is a
I don't
conversation
do
I have
it.
had every morning of the last year of going cold plunging, and yet somehow, like, I knew last Saturday, Friday or Saturday, I found myself saying, "Am I gonna go cold plunging today?"
Mm.
Well, no. Once as soon as I give myself the
Yeah,
out
it's
of,
not an
"Am I gonna
option.
do it?"
It's just what you
No.
do. Yeah.
And so then the next day I did, and I've done every day since then, and hopefully I'll keep doing that
There you
again.
go.
But to me, that is a daily consistent reminder of getting in action. Like if I can do that action, I can take that next step to do the other, just do something that moves me out of that in between into a place of more flow.
I love it.
It's funny to me how much of my daily life and my ability to show up for myself, my ability to be in more action than getting stuck in my head, all of that has ended up being tied into this cold plunging practice,
I love it. It's a
which,
great metaphor for so many things.
yeah. And given that I don't really like being cold and I'm not a morning person, it is not lost on me what a wild thing that is what
Yeah.
shows up for me. But it definitely gets me into action.
And kicks you back. It's a great way to stay on course.
Yeah.
It's that daily reset. I love that.
Yeah. You have stuff like that. I mean, I know you walk a lot.
We walk the dogs every morning. That's kind of our
Love
ritual,
that.
which is I love. Usually, most mornings I get up and I meditate. I have my whole little thing. I make my tea and I meditate and I do all those things. And it makes a big difference. It
Yeah.
really does. Yeah.
And do you notice a correlation between when you are not doing those things to the time when you're sort of off your
When I'm off track and off
out of your
1,000%.
groove? Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, sometimes 5, 10, 15 minutes at the most for meditating. Some people are like big, long. If you want to meditate for an hour, rock on. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just saying I don't do that. So even just little things, but doing them makes a big difference. And when I don't, that's when it's like I'm out of control. It's like I've given to me, that's especially the meditation and things in the morning. That's when I take over the reins of my thought process, my stories, how I'm going to show up, looking for proof that it's working, all of those things. It's like if I don't do that, then I've given the reins to somebody else and I'm just along for the ride and I got to hope for the best.
Yeah. Mm.
So it's a big difference.
So it is interesting to me that you and I have very specific things that help us manage our days so that we aren't in that in between as
Right.
often. Not that we aren't there, because
No, but I'm there
everybody's human.
much less
Everybody has
often.
those that, and maybe
Yeah,
it's a day, maybe it's an hour, maybe it's a week, maybe it's a month where
right.
you are more out of your groove and out of alignment, and you feel it, and it's like the gears are just grinding, and you
Mhm.
cannot figure out how to get out of it.
Right.
But you and I both have been able to identify, even in this call, connecting with other people is a
Right.
huge piece. And part of it is because you're going, hey, I need support. But some of it is just, I see you. And that is about connection. And connection tends to bring us more a little bit in alignment than being out. Isolation, not
No.
like in a reflective, I need space to myself, but like hiding isolation
Yeah,
is probably going to pull you more out of your sense of alignment with self.
right.
And then having some sort of practice that keeps you in action
Exactly.
is also going to help you find that place of flow and alignment and not being stuck in the in between.
Exactly. Yeah.
Don't you just wish we could invite everybody else who's listening to join us right now? Because I want to hear what other people do.
Yeah, I am super curious as well. This is a good conversation.
I know. I think some people cook.
Oh, yeah.
That is
Not
never going to
me.
be me. No.
In fact, this whole episode, I've been thinking about what kind of takeout I want to get for dinner.
I do think creativity fits into this, though.
Oh, yeah. I'm not a cook or creative person. I have other things I do that's creative.
Yeah, but I do think creativity, just as a parting thought for folks who are thinking
Yeah.
about, gosh, maybe I don't have things that help me
Yeah.
get out of that in between. I'm going to guess that there's something creative in some corner of your life, and don't think of it just as, "Ooh, I don't draw," because I don't draw.
No, it could be anything.
Yeah.
Be social media, writing. Like for me, my creativity comes from my writing. I'm not draw a mean smiley face, but beyond that, nothing.
Yeah, managing the in between. Stay in action. You cannot steer a parked car. That's what I'm going to leave you with. Boom! All right. Thanks so much for being here, everybody. And like, subscribe, share, all the things. And we will see you on the flip side.